Hey, what up people, this is Viewer Eyes here, and today I'm yet again talking about Dragon Ball, but this time I will be talking about Dragon Ball GT. My opinions on GT have slightly changed, but not to the extreme that I hate it or anything like that. Well, my eyes have just opened to the fact that GT might not have been as awesome as I always said it was, but even though I don't rank GT as high anymore, doesn't mean I still don't love it, and that is why I thought I might as well make a top 10 of the coolest moments that GT has to offer. Like and subscribe, and let's ride. Opening up this video, I feel it is safe that this would be at the number 10 spot, and that is Goku's first real fight in the story. It is nothing overly fancy, but Ledgic came across as a very cool character, and for the opening fight, it was dope. Our MC was obviously stronger than Ledgic, but this quick clash was a good way to kick off Dragon Ball GT. Ledgic also somewhat reminds me of Hit for some reason, so there is some extra cool points added to him, even though his character was designed way before Hit's character.
What happened to my hand?
That didn't come from me.
Coming in at number 9 is the fight between Goku and Ice Shenron. Ice-powered characters are always my favorite because ice is my favorite type of elemental power. You will see even the name of this channel is ice-related. But Ice Shenron was kind of a dickhead. He interrupted a great fight between Goku and Nuova. This isn't one of the craziest fights in this show, but I included it because it is overly satisfying seeing his downfall. Ice was one of those enemies who used underhanded tactics in fights to get their way, and it is always fun to see guys like this being sent to the Shadow Realm with a big L. Coming in next is Goku's fight with Nuova Shenron. I don't know why, but Nuova kind of reminds me of Piccolo in a way. The reason why this fight made it onto this list is quite simple, and that is because it is basically the first fight with the Shadow Dragons that was truly entertaining. With the exception of the final battle with Sen/Omega Shenron, this fight with Nuova is the best Shadow Dragon fight out of them all.
Is death funny?
No, it's not, but I have no intention of dying.
I consider the next fight to be the first real boss battle in the series. Sure, there were other battles before this, but none of them truly interested me, and the other battles didn't feel like they even pushed Goku too much. But this fight with General Rildo had all the over-the-top magic that could be associated with a Z battle. Now that I look back at this one, at a certain point it almost felt like Goku was fighting an entire planet. It kind of reminds you of when the Guardians fought Ego in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The Super 17 arc is something that could have been awesome, but it instead fell into the realm of mediocre and unforgettable. However, the fight and the conclusion of the fight with 17 wasn't all that bad. One thing I can say about Super 17 is that next to SSJ4, it is easily the most badass character design to come out of Dragon Ball GT. It is a pity such a cool looking character didn't receive a better storyline to amplify his badassness. The fight was decent, so I won't cry too much about that, with 17 flexing on the entire gang and then even exhausting Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I love it when Goku finishes off an opponent with a Dragon Fist instead of a Kamea wave. The majority of Goku's fights involve a Kamea, so when I see the Dragon Fist, it instantly becomes a memorable moment to me.
What?
Silver Dragon Fist!
For a vast majority of people, this show was a letdown, but even though a lot of people have these kind of feelings associated to this series, I think we can all agree that seeing Goku and Vegeta use fusion in their Super Saiyan 4 states to reach Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was something special. You can hate GT all you want, but if you say this version of Gogeta isn't awesome, then you are just lying to yourself for no damn reason. Unfortunately, Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta falls into the classic Dragon Ball trope of being OP but not being able to finish the job, but I'm still happy that I could have experienced this. This is the coolest looking version of Gogeta and you cannot convince me otherwise, or you can give me money and then I will agree with anything you say. Let me tell you now, out of all Goku's transformations, SSJ4 has the coolest design. I don't care which is more powerful because power blinds people very easily. Super Saiyan 4 is the best looking version of Goku design wise. Some maniacs would of course say Ultra Instinct, but Ultra Instinct just looks crispier because of better animation. Ultra Instinct is basically just Goku with fairy dust. It looks awesome, but design wise it is still just Goku in his base form with bells and whistles. But now enough of the design, let's say something about the first big epic boss battle. There isn't too much to pack out about this, but fight wise this is easily in the top 5 GT battles. Essentially, this is a classic seesaw Dragon Ball fight. It was great to see Goku back to form because up until this point we only saw him in his kid form apart from the very first episode. I do have to say though, the one thing that made this entire confrontation more than decent was the fact that it had a great build-up. This battle was essentially set up in motion the moment Goku, Pan and Trunks discovered Giru. I truly wouldn't mind if they remastered GT in some sort of way and just add some extra flair to these fights. I'm not overly negative when I'm saying that, right? Because I love GT, but rewatching it now, I can honestly say it does lack some true epicness apart from a very few selected moments. Nevertheless, Goku finally getting his victory on what I can only describe as an absolute parasite was satisfying to watch.
Over here.
Although I don't have a steaming hatred for this version of Dragon Ball like a lot of people do, I can admit that GT doesn't really have a ton of memorable moments. However, Piccolo helping Goku out after he used up all his ki and then sacrificing himself for the sake of the planet is something that I will always remember. Top tier stuff right here, and of course even at death's door this man had to aura farm. This is one of the very few truly emotional moments delivered in this version of Dragon Ball. I always like to think about how Piccolo started out as this pure evil and then evolved to a point where he would gladly give up his life for planet Earth.
Piccolo, don't leave us. Piccolo!
I know I'm most likely sounding like a broken record at this point, but I just want to emphasize that this show has a very bland side, but somehow it manages to give you a highly satisfying ending for some reason. Yeah, I'm most likely sounding like a bitch, but every time I see Goku leaving with Shenron, it does spark some emotion. Before Dragon Ball Super came into existence, I thought that this would be the last time we ever saw Goku again, and it felt sad that I would never see one of my absolute favorite heroes again, but at the same time it was also awesome to witness because it felt like Goku had done everything possible to save the planet and it was his time to rest after having dedicated his entire life to helping the people of Earth. That is just my perspective anyway. I wonder how other people look at it. Then, seeing a statue of Goku at the World Martial Arts Tournament and the descendants of Goku and Vegeta fight at the end was the icing on the cake with Goku watching from the crowd. I feel if you feel nothing for the ending of GT, then you are most likely just made of stone or just hate everything in existence. I hate showing my emotions, but this is one of those moments that just seems to get me every time I watch the ending of GT or just think about the ending of GT.
Darkness that brought it close to extinction so many times. But if that day comes, there is one who will step out of the shadows and fight in the name of all that is good and true.
And now, capping off this video, I feel it is only right that I finish this video off with my absolute favorite moment out of the entire GT, and that is when Goku finally defeats Omega Shenron. Gogeta was more than powerful enough to defeat Omega Shenron, but let's just be honest, this was so much bigger of a moment to witness. As I always say, it is always better to see the hero defeat an opponent when he is at his absolute lowest. It is so much more impactful than seeing them totally overpowering a final boss. An underdog type of situation truly excites me more than seeing something too OP. I appreciate when a character transcends their opponents, but a struggling fighter just gives a much more memorable moment. And this is where I end the video, and I just want to hear your thoughts on GT. What are your favorite moments, your favorite fights, or just say your opinion on GT as a whole. Also like and subscribe. Even if you don't like, subscribe because that specific video you might be looking for might just make an appearance sometime soon.